Welcome to Bet On It, guys. I'm Kelly Stewart. Ignore my background today. I almost got decapitated by my green screen, but we're here. We made it out alive. Let's bring in Marco D'Angelo and Gianni Corrales. Welcome, gentlemen. This is our last Bet On It of, well, we'll call it the football season, guys. I wanted to tell you, we decided before the show that based on the March Madness schedule, it looks like we're going to be able to be back for the actual NCAA tournament based on when the games will be played. So we'll be back for round 1, round 2. Hopefully we can get in some Elite 8, maybe some Final 4, and of course the national championship game. So don't fret. We're not going anywhere just yet. We're just going to take a quick hiatus towards the end of February, early March. Marco D'Angelo at Marco in Vegas, Gianni Corrales at Greek_Gambler. If you guys aren't following my favorite guys on Twitter, I'm going to give you a little moment before we get into the Super Bowl. Marco, I know you recently took a trip to Park City, and all of a sudden, now you can pick basketball winners.
Kelly, it's been a good 2021. And yeah, you know, when you go on vacation for a few days, you always worry, well, if I lose, everybody's going to say, oh, yeah, he's taking a vacation. Well, we went 6-1 in Park City. So I guess I can handicap in the higher altitude. So we're okay. And we're on a 27-5 run, Kelly. I keep knocking on wood. Let's keep it rolling. 2021's been fun. And we got one more football game to do, and it's the big one. Are we allowed to say Super Bowl on here? Well, I guess I already did.
I'm allowed to say whatever I want. I already decided. Look, I'm sure at some point in time, YouTube's going to take us down and say that's somehow copyright infringement. But here we are. VR, how has your 2021 been so far, 1 month in?
I've come out of the gate. I'm doing good on the best bets, on my good stuff, my 4 or 5% plays. But on the heavy volume, the 1 to 3% bets, we're losing. In fact, I'm down for the year going into today. I'm negative over the last 30 days. So for 2021, I'm in the black, as they say, in the red. Excuse me. I'm so used to being the other way. Just kidding. But you know, here's what I always say. For me, when it comes to volume, I know how to bet it. Meaning, if I'm going to bet volume, then I have to know going in that the volatility is going to be there. No matter how much profit when December 31st rolls around, we may have accumulated. There were some horrific runs along the way. That much I'm sure of, because it's going to take 1,000 to 2,000 bets to get there. And over that course, you're going to have some 2 and 17 runs. It's inevitable. But again, if you don't have the bankroll for the volatility and the volume, then you just bet the strongest edges and the best bets. And for those guys, they're doing well and they'll stay selective throughout the year. But again, I don't mind volume. I trust in the process that all I got to do is fire enough bets. Long term, the numbers speak for themselves. And I'm down over the last 30 days, but I'm up money over the last 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. And to me, that's the game I play. So what matters most is picking a winner on this Super Bowl. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I have one. I have a lot of prop winners for you, but we'll get to those in a little bit.
We will get to those in a little bit because I actually added that as an entire segment. The prop game,
yeah, good job.
VR, as you mentioned, is where the wise guys go in. They bang the books for $200 to $500 here and there. Get down limit bets, get to the back of the line, and go for it. We're gonna get that after TNA with Ralph Michaels. But first, let's start off with the side. I've got the WagerTalk odds screen open. Looks like 3 minus 120 at most places around town. South Point is a 3 flat. Some of the guys on the East Coast, 3 minus 115. Look, I'm going to be really honest with both of you guys. I don't think I want to bet the side pregame. I think last year I learned my lesson. I said, you know what? I'm going to bet the Chiefs when they get down. Sure enough, third quarter, they're down 10. I bet them live. I was sitting there at Caesar's Palace, banged the app for plus 240. And now that's what I feel like I got to do in this one. I think at 3.5, the Bucks is the right number. But Marco, I'm going to let you have the floor first. Your thoughts on the side in the Super Bowl.
Well, Kelly, what I'm going to start with here, and I'm going to tell you that I do have a lean. I haven't locked in who I'm going with, but what I wanted to do is tell everybody that there's more than one way to skin a cat as far as the game goes. And I know that's one of the most stupidest sayings because who actually skins a cat? But when you look at the Super Bowl, Yeah, we've got a number there. It's 3 minus 120. You're going to lay a little juice if you want to lay the 3 and get even money on Tampa plus the 3. But I'll tell you, if you like a side, I'm going to give you some alternatives of how you can bet that side. Maybe you like Kansas City, but you don't want to lay the 3. Well, there's always the money line, but the money line's minus 165. Do you want to lay that? No. So what do? Well, here's a way that you can get creative. If you like Kansas City, how about taking a bet on Patrick Mahomes for MVP? If they win the Super Bowl, because this Super Bowl, more than any other Super Bowl, has been billed as the battle of the quarterbacks. It's the GOAT versus the baby GOAT. You know that the history has shown the quarterback wins the MVP most of the time. To be exact, 30 of 54. And because the way this has been billed, and remember, this is a prop bet that is not decided in the box score. This is a prop bet that is done by a vote of who they vote the MVP. Chances are Kansas City wins, it's going to be Mahomes as the MVP. So if you like KC, you can take a shot and bet Mahomes at plus 110. You're getting plus money on Kansas City and not laying a number. Well, now let's flip it around to the other side. How about Tampa Bay? The obvious thing is, let's figure this out, okay? If Tampa Bay wins, Tom Brady is a slam dunk for the MVP, okay? Because of the story behind Tampa Bay getting here. You got Brady leaving the security blanket of Bill Belichick, go to a team that hasn't won a playoff game in forever and take them to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. He's going to be the MVP unless somebody has, 3 touchdowns, or 100 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing or something like that. But even then, I still think Brady gets the nod. So you could take them at plus 3 at minus, at even money, or you can take them on the money line plus 145, or just grab Brady plus 250 for the MVP. That's a way to get creative. As far as the game goes, Kelly, right now, I'm leaning towards that Tampa Bay side. I haven't locked it in yet, but that's where I'm leaning, Tampa Bay. But I just wanted to give you some other options and things you can do to be creative.
Marco, I don't know if you saw the Ladies of Wager Talk TikTok video, but I also lean towards Tampa Bay at 3.5. So, VR, my first question for you is, where did the wise guys come in at? Do we think we'll see another 3.5? Because I'm afraid it's long gone.
At 3.5 minus 110, you're probably not going to get it. But you can get it right now at minus 120. It's available on the screen. And with the Chiefs juiced, you could even buy the hook at a discount. So the 3.5's there if you're willing to pay the extra big. Now, there's a bunch of, you got to look at the Super Bowl. There's going to be a lot of inconsistencies. And what I mean by that is this is the most scrutinized game of the entire season. And we have 2 weeks to dig into it. So regardless of what side you like, you could find 100 narratives that support it and 100 narratives why the other side is wrong. Meaning you could argue both these sides, both these totals. It's the last game of the year. They've played 18, 19 games. We have enough data. We know who these teams are. The line at the Super Bowl is going to be pretty tight. Even though it's aimed at the betting public, not at the wise guys, the books aren't idiots. They're not just going to toss out a number that they're going to get one-sided. You see, this is a great number. They're getting a bunch of two-way action. And you're not going to get much line value when you bet a Super Bowl. You don't see those significant, huge line moves. But I'm going to end up betting the side or the total, because what happens is the money starts coming in, the market starts moving, and intuition kicks in. And like last year, the year before that, and the year before that, I might have went back and forth the first week. And come weekend of that game, I started zeroing in. And I think that's what's going to happen again, because right now I'm on the props. We've bet over 40 props so far. That's where the value is. I've released 7 of them to subscribers already. You're probably going to get 20 more when it's all said and done, because we're going to end up probably betting between 80 and 100 plus props when it's all said and done. And I'm going to try to narrow it down to, 20 or 30. But that don't mean you got to bet them all. Bet the ones you agree with, obviously. fade the ones you disagree with or whatever you're going to do. As far as the side goes, again, we know who these two teams are. I don't not sound like a broken record. The line value, is it really there? We know Tampa Bay probably shouldn't be a 3.5-point underdog to Kansas City, but when you factor in Mahomes' ATS record on the road, Andy Reid ATS record on the road, the Super Bowl experience, having won it last year, when you factor in a lot of those things, it's you could get to that number is what I'm trying to say. So anyone that steps up and says, "Oh, I have a lock, Tampa +3, and this line should be a pick 'em, but you're getting 3.5 points more than you should," that's nonsense. That's just not the case. You're hopefully going to find yourself on the right side when it's all said and done. This is that one game, Kelly, where it isn't like every prop and every other day we're betting, meaning it isn't about long-term results. This is pick the winner of this individual game. Personally, I like the Tampa Bay side. The reason I haven't pulled the trigger is obvious. Fading Mahomes isn't profitable straight up. Now, ATS this year, they've underperformed against the betting market. Historically, those teams have not done well in the Super Bowl. But on the flip side of that, they've won a lot of games. I think they're 14-2 straight up during the regular season. So even though they didn't cover, they won games. Now we look at this spread, it tells us they more or less just have to win the game. More importantly, 80% of the time in the Super Bowl, the spread doesn't matter. That's the fear of fading KC. As far as, again, where I lean the Tampa Bay side, because even though all that talk about there's no line value there, I am of the thought of this is a little bit higher than it should be. You almost never get value on a Super Bowl line value, but I do think now even +3 even money is giving me some value. Forget the 3.5. I'll take the even money before I lay 120 or 3.5 on a Super Bowl. That's for sure, especially with a total of 56. When you're expecting that many points, a half a point's not going to save me. I don't mind getting the push at even money compared to laying 20. So right now, my lean is on the Tampa Bay side at +3 even money. I haven't gone to the window with that. Will I be on KC? I don't know. But right now, I like Tampa Bay.
All right, VR mentioned the total. We'll get to that after a quick commercial break.
Every Monday at WagerTalk.com, all plays are just $9. This even includes top-rated 5% plays, which normally sell for $40. There's no better day to get winning picks than $9 Mondays at WagerTalk.com and our sister site, SportsMemo.com. Get $25 in WagerBucks added to your account after your first purchase at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. This is just our way of saying thank you for joining the WagerTalk and SportsMemo family.
Welcome back to Bet On. I got my WagerTalk odds screen open. As you guys know, this one opened at 57 just a couple of weeks ago, 56 pretty much across the board. The interesting thing, though, is that one of the offshores went to 55.5. VR, I told everybody, if you like the over, just wait. The wise guys are going to bet the under. They do it every single year. I am way, way, way too scared to bet this under. All three of us ladies on the TikTok video said we like the under. I like the under. I don't know if I have we'll call them the Cajones. I don't really have any of those, but if I even did, would I be able to back this under with my money? I think this is an in-game situation for me. I really don't know what to make of this. I know before the last segment you said, hey, Kel, this one is interesting with the spread in regards to a high number. Do you think this total is too high?
Because you're a winning bettor, that's why you instantly thought value on the under. Seriously. Every sharp bettor thought that when they first saw that 57. And here's why. Historically, when Super Bowls have been expected to be high scoring, they haven't been. I mean, 5 or 6 times it's been over 50, and it only went over one time. So couple that with the fact that we're going to get inflated total with these two teams especially, and these two quarterbacks. Primetime marquee game, the most public bet game. So, of course, the over's shaded higher than it should be, meaning this total should have opened 55, and the market should have decided from there, but they shaded it up to 57, because of all those reasons I just gave you. Now, if you bet under 57, good for you. You're going to have a better ticket in your pocket than it's going to close at most likely. And if you repeat that process between now and December 31st over and over again, rest assured, bet size correctly, you'll take your bookie's money. I promise you that. But that don't mean you're going to cash it on Sunday. I can tell you sharps that the guys I work with bet the under 28 and laid some juice to get that under 28 in the first half. I take a percentage, but I didn't release it to my subscribers or piggyback it. And here's why. Because I lean Tampa Bay, and I haven't seen anyone beat Kansas City unless you outscore them. Meaning I know that's how you beat a team. You got to outscore them, but you got to score for score with Kansas City. You're not keeping them on the sideline. Good luck with that. Because even if you do that and you get up a 10-point lead, they're going to put up 3 touchdowns in one quarter. They've done that over and over and over again. How many times do we have to see it before we conclude it's not random? That's just how this offense operates. So if you think you're going to keep them on the sideline and you're going to run the football and milk clock, yeah, good luck with that. It worked for nobody. So you're going to have to go up and down the field with them. This can still stay under because you need more than 2 touchdowns a quarter to break 56. 14 points a quarter only pushes at 56. So you need better than that. And if you get a long drive that ends up in a field goal or a turnover, the likelihood that it stays under 56 and is still a high scoring game is very likely. That's why I haven't, gone ahead and bet the over, even though everything tells me that's the obvious side. We have Brady, we have Mahomes, we have 2 teams that are obviously offensive minded. It isn't on the defensive side of the ball that they're top 5 or 6 in the league. It is on the defensive side of the ball that they're top 5 yards per play. These teams do it with offense. I get it. Tampa has a good defense and all that, but they do it with offense. So for me, it's very scary to hold the under ticket in my pocket. I could confirm the group I work with went under 28 first half. I could confirm some guys I respect have under 57 tickets in their pocket. Between now and Sunday, they may talk me into taking a little piece of that as well. But everything that I see tells me you're crazy. Bet the over or leave it alone, because even if this one's 21 points at halftime, the explosion could come at any time. And you may be waiting for it and it never comes, but the likelihood that it's coming is very high with these 2 teams and these 2 quarterbacks. And I don't want to be sitting on a ticket thinking it's a winner and then see 35 points scored in 15 minutes and throw that junk value out the window. So I haven't bet the over. Sharps are on the under. Put your big boy pants on and you decide for yourself, because this isn't financial information. Yeah, I'm not giving you I'm not telling you what to do with your money, man. You do you, I do me. But so far, I haven't bet the total.
All right, I'm excited. I've already got my notebook ready to take down all your prop bets because I know you're going to give out some great information. But Marco, you do have an opinion here on this total. I was looking I had to go to weather.com because I was like, why are we seeing 55.5? I feel like they know that the public is going to bet the over, whether that's the right side or not, as VR just mentioned. We know that the wise guys bet the under, but it looks like there's going to be some pretty significant storms on Sunday with Tampa. I feel like then that's just going to drive it down even more. So probably if you like the over, hang tight, but I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on the total.
Well, Kelly, obviously weather conditions are always a factor that you got to wait and see, and they're trying to get ahead of it. One of the things, now, if that is the reason why we're seeing the early money, then everything that, VR just said makes a lot of sense with the sharps betting the under, but not feeling comfortable about it, because we've seen in the past overreactions to weather usually bite you in the butt. We've seen it too many times. But I will say this much. When you've got a game of this magnitude, when we're talking about the Super Bowl, and there's going to be so much public money being bet, and when the public comes in, I don't want to say that VR was talking like, a normal bettor, but I do the same thing. We're never comfortable betting unders, okay? You don't enjoy watching a game when you have the under, especially with quarterbacks like this that can score quickly. But for people to jump in and bet the under, sharps, they're doing it for a reason, because they know come the weekend when that wave of people come into Vegas, they're not going to walk to the window and bet the under, just for the reasons that Ace said, and I'm saying now. You don't want to sit and watch the Super Bowl and root for the under. You've got prop bets. Most people, gravitate to the overs on the prop bets and everything. And this game is set higher than it should be. And the sharps aren't waiting for more value. They feel there's value now. They're going to get it. Maybe it's getting in front of the weather, and then they get a better number on the under now, and then the market drives and crashes more, and they'll come back on the over. We don't know. Maybe they're setting up for in-game, because how many times have you seen games that start slow in the Super Bowl and then pick up steam later, which when we get to the props, I'm going to talk about that. It's actually one of my prop bets. But for me, I am looking at the under. I think this is a game that both teams, they played once already this year. That total was insanely high. They went under the total in that game. And I'm looking at Tampa Bay. 3 times this year, they've had a total of 55 or higher. They're 3-0 to the under in those games. And here's a stat on Kansas City this year. As good as they are and as quickly as they can score, following a game that produced 50 points or more combined, they're 8-2 to the under in the next game this season. So for me, the play is the under. That's the only way I'm going to go on the game if I bet the game. But again, it's no fun betting unders. That's, you're sitting there and, it could be a 10-3 game late in the second quarter and you're saying, wow, we're sitting pretty. And then all of a sudden the other team scores a touchdown and the other team gets the ball back with a minute and they go and, go up down the field and that, you were safe for for almost 2 quarters and then you're not on pace anymore. So it's not fun, but under's the play for me.
Real quick, Kelly, I just wanted to add real quick. I know Marco was trying to be really nice. What he meant to say was VR's looking at it like a square. He was just being nice. It's okay. No, please. And you're 100% on point. That's why I haven't bet the under. Because I'm looking at it like a square. And the reason, honestly, Marco, is because it's a Super Bowl. And I don't think there's a sharp side most Super Bowls. I've been here now 20 years, and I only remember a handful of times that there was a sharp side, meaning the real sharp side. The last big sharp side I remember was when the Saints won and Billy Waters bet that million on the money line. You know what I mean? And hid that money late, all that money on the Saints. He hid it and got it into the market. It's rare that those things happen. That's the only reason I'm afraid. But you're right. And real quick, the last game, because you brought that up, they got into the red zone 5 times and only 1 time. They were 1 for 5 in the red zone, these teams. And they still got 50 points up on the board. That's what scares me. But Marco is just being nice. I was very square by saying I was like, this game over, because the sharp side is definitely the under.
Hey, it doesn't matter. Marco nailed it. I had the under in that Packers-Bucks game, and guess what happened with 13 seconds left? An absolute gut-wrenching bomb to the end zone. Killed my first half under. I knew my game under was dead at that point in time.
2021 has been nothing short of spectacular for WagerTalk co-founder Marco D'Angelo. Marco is the #1 handicapper at WagerTalk in both money won at a 59% bankroll increase and winning percentage of 62.5%. Marco is on an insane run of 25-5 with his plays over the past weeks for 83% winners. Right now, Marco has a sweetheart of a deal for you. Buy a 30-day all-access package for the regular price of $349, and Marco will give you an additional 30 days of all access for free. To redeem this offer, just go to WagerTalk.com. Choose Marco in the experts dropdown and lock in 60 days of picks for the price of 30. This sweetheart deal ends at midnight on Valentine's Day.
Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from your favorite sports memo handicapper now until Super Bowl 56 on February 6th, 2022 for only $799. As an added bonus, For a limited time, customers who take advantage of the Super Bowl to Super Bowl All Access Pass will receive $100 in wager bucks to use on any capper at sportsmemo.com over the next 12 months. Just head over to sportsmemo.com, pick your favorite handicapper in the experts drop-down menu, and lock them in through next year for only $2 a day. Welcome back to Bet On It, guys. It is time for some props. This is what the Super Bowl is all about to me. Unloading on a ton of prop games. Don't forget, still practice good bankroll management, but this is what makes the game fun. As VR said, there's not really a sharp side on the Super Bowl necessarily, but there are some definite sharp sides on some of these props. So I'm excited to hear what Marco and VR. I'm going to go first, though. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes on our 329.5 passing yards. Now, if what happened in several other games where they get down double digits, I might be in a world of hurt because Patrick Mahomes is going to be bombing it downfield. But this one's just a little too high for me. I think he may throw in the 310s, but we'll see how it plays out. I think this one is you're paying for a premium for Patrick Mahomes. Marco, you're up next. Tell me one of your favorite prop bets for the Super Bowl.
Well, I kind of teased this one, Kelly, when we were talking about the over-under, and I'm looking at first half versus second half scoring. I like second half scoring. This is one of my props. It's almost an automatic every year, simply because when you come into the Super Bowl, you open up the game, teams play tight. They fill each other out. Like Ace likes to say, it's like a heavyweight fight. They're jabbing a little bit at the beginning before they throw the haymaker. And the second half, they make adjustments. And of course, if one team's behind, they got to keep throwing the football. So I'm going to bet that higher scoring half. You are laying about 150 to 155 on that prop bet, but this one that has gotten the money more often than not.
I like that one. Marco, VR, what is one of your favorite prop bets for Sunday?
I'm going to share some gold throughout this segment, but let me get a chalk out of the way first. And here's why. Because come Saturday night, Sunday morning, my guys are going to get a lot of these chalk props because that's where the value is. They may only be 1% or 2%, and you don't feel comfortable laying it, don't lay it. I feel comfortable. I do it every Super Bowl. And a lot of those no props are going to be things like no, he won't score a touchdown. I've said this in the past. Betting syndicates I worked for have bet every player no for touchdown. Now, I don't know about this Super Bowl because a lot of points are expected, but just throwing that out there, we will lay some chalk late. Let me get this one chalk one because it'll help with other bets for you guys as well. And this is, I laid minus 350, and I was willing to lay 400 that the MVP will be a quarterback. I will comfortably lay minus 400 that there's a greater than 80% chance that the quarterback of either team is the MVP. And the reason is simple. It's Brady. It's Mahomes. It's a 55, 56 point total. And it's the sports writers who pick the Super Bowl MVP. You're not going to get it on the defensive side. You're not getting in special team because they don't even run the ball out anymore. You're not getting it any receiver because they pass the ball to so many guys. I mean, the bottom line is the likelihood that a quarterback is getting it is so great that I am so comfortable laying 350, premium it all day. That's a best bet material there.
All right, Marco, I'm going to let you go up next, but I wanted to give one more that I really liked here. And I'm also going to give out a prop as my best bet, but that's beside the point. I like there will be a missed field goal. This one is a little chalky as well. I think it's minus 130 now. I bet it minus 125 earlier in the week. I got to pull up my screen so I can actually see. I've been betting every time I get a text from somebody, every time I look at something, I'm just hammering it in where I can get it done. That being said, Bucker, Santos, these guys are not exactly great NFL kickers. They don't get utilized that often. And I do think that if they are in a position here, nerves kind of come into play. I think we may see a missed field goal. Marco, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I can't disagree with you on that one, Kelly. We've seen a lot of missed kicks this year, whether it's been extra points or not in field goal. So, yeah, that's worth a bet. I'm going to go with Kelsey, over 7.5 receptions. And the reason I'm going to go with that one is in the last 10 games, he's had 8 or more receptions in 9 of them. And after Tyreek Hill burned Tampa in the first meeting, you know the game plan is going to be to take Hill out of the game. He's going to get double teamed. So what's that mean? Well, that's going to mean the middle's going to be open for that big old tight end. And if you watched in the last two playoff games, especially against Buffalo, they were using those quick slants as an extension of the running game because they didn't have a good running game, and they were catching 6 and 7 yard passes and just going down for the quick gain. I think Kelsey has a big game on Sunday. I'm taking him over the 7.5 receptions.
I like that one, Marco. VR, one thing I wanted you to touch on is something we touched on and bet on it last year when we were in studio, and that was the coin flip, right? I laughed. I said, I'd love to bet the coin flip. It's so fun. I know we got to lay 102 or 103, but you had a really nice PSA about pricing when in regards to these props. And I just pulled a book open to see if I could get a little bit more down on a couple other props. Minus 115 on both sides on the coin flip. So will you please reiterate your PSA when we're I know you're shaking your head off camera. Let's see if Joe put you on camera so everybody can see your face right now, because I think it's really important we talk about this again.
Yeah, please don't do it. Honestly, I'll give you minus 110. Next time you're in Vegas, DM me. I'll come meet you, and I'll give you minus 110 on that same coin flip, and you could flip it. Don't lay minus 115 on the Super Bowl. I'll give you minus 105 all day. How's that? It's the worst bet you can make. There is nothing. The bottom line is this. No one placing that bet is a long-term winner. There's no chance. If every action, we know our edge is so small to win long-term that every action has to reflect that. That if I even mess up just a little bit, my edge is gone. Laying 115 on a coin flip would wipe out the edge on 3 or 4 bets. Can't do it. Save your money. Seriously, there's animal shelters, there's food banks, there's so many societies out there helping people that could use that money more than the sports book. Don't lay 115 on a coin flip.
Thank you for going over that. I did just happen to see that. It reminded me last year of trying to reiterate that to people and why that is such a terrible bet. I actually kind of got in trouble because I got into it with one of the bookmakers here in town when he was charging 110, and they're not charging 110 on the Super Bowl. Let's leave it at that. VR, what is your next favorite prop bet?
Here's one that's a combo too. The shortest touchdown under 1.5 yards. Here's why. You got 2 quarterbacks here that are going to throw the football, and high probability of some pass interference calls in the end zone. Get me on that 1 yard line. Bettors think that the likelihood of that is very slim. I'd lay closer to 170, 180. Getting it around minus 150, I was on board. And also, I haven't bet it yet, but you could get both guys at plus 250 or greater that either quarterback scores a touchdown. Here's why. If I win that shortest touchdown prop, the likelihood of Mahomes sneaking it in or Brady sneaking it in are pretty good. And if you're going to give me close to 3-1 or greater on either guy, I may sprinkle a little of that since I already bet the shortest touchdown under 1.5.
All right, Marco, you're up next. I've only got a couple left, so I'm going to kick it back to you. And then we can get back to VR with some more gold. I actually think that's really interesting. I can't find that one VR, but I do think William Hill offers it here in town, so maybe I'll have to sneak over there and maybe wear a hat, some sunglasses, see if they'll let me bet it. Marco, your next favorite prop bet for the Super Bowl.
All right, Kelly. Well, you can always find somebody on the street and, say, hey, I'll give you some money. Go in and make this bet for me. Kelly, this one will be the last one I'll give here because I have one more, but I'm going to save that one for my best bet prop. But we're going to go with an under. In this one, most people are going to cringe at. And again, I'm going to tell you, long term, you make more money betting unders, especially with the marquee people. I'm going to take Tom Brady under 26.5 completions. And I know everybody's going to, that one's going to make them cringe. But if you look at Brady for the season, he only went over 26.5 completions in 6 of 19 games this year. And only once in the last 7 games. In that one game in the last 7 that he went over that many, well, it was against Atlanta, who A, has a horrible defense, and B, they were down 17 points early in that game. They had to come roaring back because if you remember, Kelly, I know you were on there too. We had Tampa Bay all over the place in teasers that day that they just had to win the game. They did, but they had to rally from a big deficit. So I don't see Tom Brady getting over 26.5. And the other reason to that is they're going to need to be more balanced in this game than they were the first game if they have a shot of beating Kansas City. They only ran the football 13 times in the first meeting. Obviously, when you fall behind 17-0 in the first quarter to Kansas City, the running game is gone. We'll go ahead and take under 26.5 completions.
All right, VR, we've got a couple of minutes left. I'm just going to let you just rattle off some gold. I know you got your screen open. Go ahead and tell everybody what else you're betting for this weekend.
And Marco nailed it. We're going to start betting some unders, but that's going to come later in the week once the public bets these up. Because with these two teams, high-profile players, quarterbacks, you're going to get a lot of these totals that are jacked up, a lot of these receptions, passes, all that stuff. We're going to look for the unders that have value, but let's get some overs out of the way that I'm already on. And this one's automatic, and that was Mahomes' pass attempts. Whether they're up or whether they're down, Mahomes is going to throw the football. The only risk is if he gets injured. And that's the risk you have betting any player that, over the total, and a little Mahomes more because we know he has the foot problem and what happened a few weeks back. But he seems fine. So I'm not going to play that far ahead of Psychic, So I like the over 41. I've seen it up to 41.5, even saw 42 out there. So I don't think you want to wait because the public's going to start betting these props as the week progresses. Another quarterback prop I got in and laid a little, I think minus 150, was Tom Brady to throw over a half interception. Listen, even if Tampa Bay wins, I love TB, but he's going to have pressure. He's going to see pressure from Kansas City. And I could see him just throwing that interception, man. Again, Brady, even if he has a great Super Bowl, still hot, the likelihood of a turnover is there. We saw in the first game, these teams turned the ball over 3 times. I like that over there. So we'll go Mahomes over and pass attempts, and we'll go Brady over a half interception.
All right, I love to hear it. We'll get to that here momentarily when we come back for our Super Bowl best bets.
Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from your favorite sports memo handicappers now until Super Bowl 56 on February 6, 2022 for only $7.99. As an added bonus, for a limited time, customers who take advantage of the Super Bowl to Super Bowl All Access Pass will receive $100 in wager bucks to use on any capper at Sports Memo over the next 12 months. Just head over to sportsmemo.com, pick your favorite handicapper in the experts drop-down menu, and lock them in next year for only $2 a day.
Well, there's not really going to be much of a recap, so I'll do it now. Both guys, including myself, said, hey, look, at Tampa Bay at 3.5, we lean that way. Nobody's gotten to the window yet on the total. Marco says he leans the under. VR says he's going to be a square. He kind of leans towards the over. I don't think I'm going to get involved in either the side or the total, but VR already alluded to it. My best bet is a prop bet, and it is Tom Brady, minus 140 to throw an interception. I know my dude's been on a roller coaster ride this year. When he throws 1, he usually throws 2, and sometimes he even throws 3, but I just need him to throw 1. Minus 140, I am seeing it up as high as minus 160 on a couple of different sites. So make sure you definitely shop around. I think Tom Brady is going to absolutely be pressured. I think this Chiefs defense doesn't get enough credit. Tyrann Mathieu, Hunt, and a couple other guys will get to Tom. And what happens when you throw Tom off his game? He throws some ducks, as we saw last weekend against the Packers. And let's hope it happens early and I don't have to sweat it and get a cash a ticket early on. Marco, who is your best bet for the Super Bowl?
All right, Kelly, we're going to go with Leonard Fournette over 3.5 receptions. And the reason I like this one is if you've followed Tom Brady all those years at New England, they love to use the running back, a guy that's athletic and has good hands, as an extension of the running game. Hit them out of the backfield. And I think that is something we're going to see. They didn't run the football in the first meeting, and they need to keep the clock moving and keep Mahomes off the field. Remember James White for New England? How many big Super Bowls did he have? Well, you know what? Leonard Fournette is James White 2.0. I'm going over 3.5 receptions as my best bet. I did the same thing with White and a couple other running backs in the past. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's where I'm going for my best bet.
Yeah, Marco, I love that one. And actually, you know what made me laugh? I was talking about that Rams-Patriots Super Bowl. I hit the 00 square. And the only other thing I won that entire Super Bowl James White over 7.5 receptions. I love it. That's a great one. I'm tailing you there. VR, who is your best bet for Sunday?
I like that one too, Marco. I bet that also. I think it makes total sense, especially if KC blitzes. That's what Brady does. He dishes off to the running backs. That's his plan. I'm going to go ahead and base this prop off of the first game. And they had 18 penalties, man. Very undisciplined game. This is a Super Bowl. The last thing the refs want to do are be the deciding factor. Number two, you got these two quarterbacks that are pretty much controlling how the game gets played when they're out there. And at 10.5, I thought that total was just too high of accepted penalties. It was even money. I gave it out at minus 105 or minus 110. I think it's still available below minus 120. I don't see them accepting the 11 penalties. Again, they accepted 18 in that first game, but you remember, if you go back, how sloppy that one was. And both coaches have 2 weeks to really nail in, like, don't make those mistakes. No false starts. Like, none of those pre-snap nonsense calls. And again, the refs aren't going to want to control the game after the snap. So I think the likelihood's high. And real quick to also back that up, the stats also. Tampa Bay penalties, about 5 per game accepted. KC 6.4. I know combined that puts us at 11, but you got to weigh it for the amount they accept, and both accept under 6. And I think we have a good bet there. If we're not going to hit 11, I think we got good likelihood of that.
I like it. We have a myriad of props for the Super Bowl, hopefully enough to keep you guys entertained. From Marco, VR, and myself, good luck this weekend, and we'll see you in a couple weeks for March Madness.